Hi there, and thanks for tuning in. Today we're looking at lesson 16.6, Writing Scientific Notation. Today's notes are going to have 10 things in it, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to write down is just maybe a review from 16.5, is whenever you have scientific notation, you're looking for those numbers that are going to be equal to 1 and less than 10, and then you also want to make sure that you think about your exponents, whether they're being positive or negative. So just what we're going to do right now is just write down a review really quickly of these two numbers so that we know what scientific notation looks like one more time, and we know what exponents to use. In the next video, or the next slide, you're going to see some examples of how to find this scientific notation of large or small numbers. Let's go ahead and pause the video now so you can write down the two examples in number 1, and then once you're done, click play. Alright, so this first one we're going to look at just so you can get a rough idea of how to do it. The first thing you're going to do is notice that you have a very large number that says Google purchased YouTube for $1,650,000,000. Write this number in scientific notation. What you need to do first is make sure that you know how to get this number in between 1 and 10. And we can do that by putting a decimal right here. So I know my decimal is going to be 1.65. Remember, also in scientific notation, you have times 10 to the something power, and how we figure that out is we just count the number of decimal places behind the decimal. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my answer is going to be 1.65 times 10 to the 9th power. Another way you can do that is also using smaller decimal numbers. Here we have this decimal number, 0.12345 zeros, 268. And what I'm going to do is write this in scientific notation. The first thing I need to know is where my decimal is going to go, and I'm going to put my decimal between the 2 and the 6 to make the decimal 2.68. Now I just need to figure out what type of exponent I'm going to have. I'm going to have to move this back to its original position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm stopping right here because that's where that decimal originally is. And since I moved it 6 times to the left, that 6 is going to have to be a -6. Okay? So once again, you're just figuring out how can I make this number in between 1 but still less than 10, and then how can I make my exponent be an integer? Remember, it can be a positive or negative whole number. Okay? What you're going to do now is try numbers 2 through 5 by yourself to see if you can get the hang of it. So let's go ahead and pause the video here, and once you're done trying them, click play so you can check your work. Alright, so number 2, your decimal is going to be 3.4, and then your exponent would be 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4th power, and since we moved it 4 times to the left, we're going to say 10 to the -4th. So my answer for number 2 is 3.4 times 10 to the -4th. For number 3, my decimal will be 6.75. And then the exponent I will use will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so 10 to the 6th power, and that's going to be positive since I moved the decimal to the right. Number 4, my decimal can be 7 or 7.0, and I move this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times to the left, so 10 to the -8. And then for number 5, my decimal will be 1.25, and I'm going to move that decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to the right in the positive direction. So my answer for number 5, 1.25 times 10 to the 5th power. How did you do? Here are a few more to try. Once again, writing the number in scientific notation, meaning you have a number between equal to 1 but still less than 10, and then a power of 10 exponent being a positive or negative whole number. Let's go ahead and pause the video here so you can try 6, 7, and 8, and once you're done, click play. Alright, so for number 6, my decimal will be 5 or 5.0, and my exponent will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and since that's a large number, that exponent will be positive. For number 7, my decimal will be 3.3, and my exponent will be a negative number because I'm moving it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So negative 7 would be my exponent. And then number 8, my decimal is 6.83, and my exponent is 1, 2, so 10 to the second power. How'd you do? The next one is comparing scientific notation. It says the table shows when the last 3 geologic eras began. Order the eras from earliest to most recent, or from greatest to least. So earliest would be the longest time ago, so the bigger the number, and then to recent would be the smaller number. Let's go ahead and take time now to pause the video and try number 9, and then once you're done, click play. Okay, so we want the greatest to least number, and one way we can do that is notice that two of these numbers have the same exponents. We can start off by comparing those. Since they have the biggest exponent, they're obviously going to be two of the biggest numbers. Paleozoic happened 5.42 times 10 to the 8th years ago, but Mesozoic happened 2.51 times 10 to the 8th years ago. That would mean the greatest would be the Paleozoic. Then it would be the Mesozoic. And then last but not least, it would be the Cenozoic. The reason why we didn't even have to really think about Cenozoic is because it had the smallest exponent, so it's obviously going to be a smaller number. How did you do in number 9? The last one in number 10 says the land area of Virginia is about 39,500 square miles. The land area of Alaska is about 570 square miles. The United States land area, though, has about 3,500,000 square miles. Write each of these in scientific notation. So you're going to have one for Virginia, one for Alaska. Write these out. And one for the United States. Let's go ahead and try those in scientific notation. Let's pause the video here so you can try each one, and once you're done, click play to check your work. Alright, Virginia is going to be 3.95 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 to the 4th. Alaska will be 5.7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 to the 5th. And then the United States will be 3.5 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power. So here are my answers for number 10. And that's going to conclude our notes for today. So by now you should have your 10 things written in your notes. This is going to conclude lesson 16.6 writing scientific notation. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.